What is going on, everybody? Liam here, Jets Afterburners podcast, back with another video. Well, the NFL Players Association has released its annual report card where they get a selected group of NFL players, if you guys aren't familiar with what this is, and they release and they give them all different kinds of surveys. So this year, 1,695 players, which is 77% percent of players, participated this year across the league in these surveys. Well, the surveys came out for the New York Jets, and putting it nicely, it was less than stellar. So we're gonna get into the categories real quick right here. I'm gonna pull them up in just a second. Here we go. So these are the categories that the players were asked to give their opinions on. Give some grades. So starting off with the treatment of families, the Jets were given a C minus, which was ranked 24th. This is a strange one because if you guys are on social media, you guys see that like Jeremy Ruckert's wife is always at the games, Jermaine Johnson's wife, a couple other players. I always personally thought that the Jets were a very family-oriented team. I guess not, but whatever. I mean, obviously the players don't feel the same way. Now, the food and dining areas was a C minus, which ranked 29th. Nutritionist and dietitian was a B plus. Locker room was a D plus. Training room C, training staff C, weight room C plus. Strength coaches B, team travel C plus, head coach B, and getting into the head coach real quick, they're talking about Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich, and then ownership, which really comes to no surprise, is an F, a big fat F, and I can't really say that we're surprised. Woody Johnson has been the worst owner in football. That's not a secret. Some of the pushback you can say, maybe it was Jerry Jones, but you know what? I get it. It didn't happen this year, but Jerry Jones will at least get his team into the playoffs. He might not win a playoff game, but you know what? He went out, he got an established, proven head coach who was on the hot seat this year. Don't get me wrong. That's why he's out of the Cowboys job. But just giving the past couple of years, he will get you into the playoffs. And this was a really, really poor year for Woody Johnson. Just getting into the Madden ratings and Diana Rossini and The Athletic just dunking on him every chance we get. He didn't make it easy for himself either, Woody Johnson, of course. He had this famous comment the day that they went out and traded for Devontae, thinking is overrated. And then the reports came out that Brick Johnson interrupted Jeff Ulbrich during Jeff Ulbrich's first win as Jets interim head coach and then gives out the game ball. The whole Jerry Jeudy thing. It was just an utter disaster for Woody Johnson. And all over social media, fans and well, yeah, just fans actually, players have indirectly hinted at Woody Johnson to sell the team. And Woody Johnson is at the very bottom. There's only one way to go, and that's up. And I gotta say, I don't ever give Woody Johnson credit. I think he is a terrible owner, but it does feel like this offseason is different. And I know we say that about every offseason. Oh, this one feels different. This is going to be the one. This upcoming year is going to be the year. And then we start getting some players in here. We get really excited. But Woody Johnson has done something this past offseason that he has never done. He opened up his wallet and spent money, hired the 33rd team to conduct all of these interviews for head coach and general manager. And then he brings in a senior advisor, something else that he has never done, in Rick Spielman. When the New York Jets introduced Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn, Woody Johnson met with the media afterwards and said, I have to be a better owner. So what does that look like from Woody Johnson? Stop meddling. Stop getting involved. If you think back during the season, a report came out that he actually wanted to have Aaron Rodgers benched after the Denver Broncos game. And Robert Saleh was not on board with that whatsoever. And then I'm not going to sit here and defend Robert Saleh and say he was a good head coach because I don't think he was. But it was the timing of the firing. When Woody Johnson fired Robert Saleh is when it really unraveled. If you remember, that was the game after the London game. The New York Jets were gonna be playing the Buffalo Bills at home for first place, and then you go out and you fire the head coach. It was just the timing was very poor, and then you just kinda force Jeff Ulbrich into it, somebody a coach that was in way over his head. Jeff Ulbrich was in way over his head, and it cost him potentially a lot of, future head coaching opportunities. But just getting back into this article a little bit, I'm gonna go right back down to here. Getting into ownership, the grade rank was an F. And not only that, he was ranked 32 out of 32. Dead last. Dead last. Owner Woody Johnson's average rating for perceived willingness to invest in the facilities is 5.58 out of 10 from Jets players, a ranking of 32nd out of 32nd owners in the league. Players feel that Johnson does not contribute to a positive team culture, a rank 32 out of 32. The players feel that Johnson is somewhat committed to building a competitive team, a rank of 31 out of 32 NFL owners. And not only that, if you guys think back to the 2022 season, there was a point where the New York Jets were 7-4, and Woody Johnson raised ticket prices. And then every year since 2022, ticket prices have gone up, and Woody Johnson and the New York Jets have wanted their money for season tickets early. They released all the new jerseys. So Woody Johnson is making money hand over fist in this situation. I personally, being completely transparent, I have never been to the Jets training facility. I grew up going to Hofstra as a kid. I live on Long Island. I'm a Hofstra guy. It's hard for me to get out to practice, because a lot of them are during the work week. And with my line of work, it's hard to take a day off of work, especially during the summer, which is really our busy season of the year. But from what I've seen, it does look like the New York Jets have a beautiful facility. But I guess some of the players are unhappy with it, and maybe it could use some upgrades. So getting into this right here, the New York Jets dropped from 21st last year to 29th overall this season. Rather than addressing the concerns, players believe that management responded to feedback by making conditions worse. For example, after receiving low grades for their food program last year, players felt the team cut the food budget and did not retain their longtime dietitianist, who was previously their highest rated staff member. Notably, the former dietitian took a full-time role with the Kansas City Chiefs, contributing to significant improvements in their food programs and dietitian grades. This speaks volumes. If you guys remember a couple years ago, Denzel Mims, haven't said that name in a very long time, had alleged food poisoning from bad salmon. And it's like, this is the stuff that the Jets are worried about. They cut their food service workers. Like, seriously? The players can't even get a good meal? Getting into this next part here. Unsurprisingly, when asked what needs the most improvement, players overwhelmingly point to the food program, although they are complimentary of their new dietitian. They also cite previous top leadership issues, with some of this describing issues as top-down problems. The Jets' ownership grades dropped from B to an F, with Woody Johnson receiving the league's lowest ownership score for contributing to a positive team culture. And this really isn't a surprise. Last year was just so poor, so bad. One of the most embarrassing seasons in NFL history for any team. When you factor in what the expectations were, when you factor in Aaron Rodgers, they were a Super Bowl contender, they were going all in, and they went 5-12. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. So anyway, like I said, this video and these grades probably come as no surprise. Woody Johnson has been undoubtedly the worst owner in the NFL, and now it's proven by his peers, by his players. I'm rooting for Woody Johnson. I really want Woody Johnson to sell the team, but we know that's not going to happen. So I'm rooting that maybe he can somehow turn things around. Maybe he can learn and become a better owner. What do you guys think? Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk Jets soon.